It's Thursday. You know what that means? I'm gonna throw it on back a little bit. Come on. What's going on, YouTube? Jaybird back at you once again. It's Thursday, Throwback Thursday time. I got a couple of stories I'm going to share with you about some just some childhood friends, a couple of childhood friends. Well, lifelong friends actually. James I met, oh my goodness, man, it was the mid 80s, probably the late 80s. I'm guessing I was about 11 or 12 years old. What's up, James? Um, he lives in Texas now, so I don't get to see him very much, but we do correspond via text, and we talk to each other on the phone every now and again. Um, James, by the time I met James, and I think you're a little older than me, James. I'm not quite sure how much, maybe a year, not much, but when I had met James, by the time I had met him, this dude had already been shot in the chest. He had gotten shot in the, this is a weird story, but it was true. He had gotten shot in the throat with a BB gun by some other little kid, but instead of a BB, somebody had put a fish hook in it, and he just knew he got shot, and he didn't think nothing about it, and just kind of just thought he was shot, and the BB didn't go in or anything. And he said he got to hurting every time he would, like talk or something, and they finally took it to the doctor, and the dadgum fish hook was in his throat, and every time he would talk. I know it's not funny, Jane. I guess we can laugh about it now. Stabbed yourself in the leg one time. Oh, Lordy, that boy, by the time I'd met him, he'd done been through it. Got shot in the chest with I believe it was a 22 or something. His little cousin just picked it up and thought it was a toy or something and just shot him. It was real close to hitting his heart, too. That boy was lucky to be here. You lucky to be here, James, by the grace of God. And through James, I met the other lifelong friend, Brian. Day. What's up, dude? I met Brian, which Brian's a little older than me. He's probably a few years older than me. I don't know, and I don't want to say Brian's age or anything on camera, but I met him through James. James knew him when he was a kid or something in the neighborhood, and he knew that Brian played music and played drums and stuff, so James introduced me to him, and I wound up being in a band with these guys, and then out of that flourished a lifelong friendship that we still carry on to this day. Now, Brian does live here, and I do get to see Brian, not as much as I would like, but we're both busy, and it's understandable, but I get to see him, and we still correspond through text messages and phone calls as well. But gosh, I'm gonna tell the Brian story first, just because this was probably, I don't know what year it was. I was probably in my early 20s, maybe 19 or 20 years old, something like that. And not too far from where we live, there's a state park. It's called Reelfoot Lake, and it's a pretty good sized lake. It's not just massive, but it's for us around here. It's plenty big. It was actually created by the New Madrid earthquake that happened in I think it was 1800 and something. I don't know. Can't remember. I'm not a history buff, but anyway, it's Reelfoot Lake. You guys can Google it, look it up. And they were hosting a thing called a crappie-thon, and it was a crappie tournament. And what they would do was these guys would pre-fish whoever was given the tournament or in charge of the tournament, whatever. They would pre-fish, they would catch crappie, and they would tag them with all different kinds of prizes. And I think the grand prize was like $50,000 or something. It was a lot of money. And they had anything from the cash prize to vehicles to nice riding reels, boats, and they had all these fish tagged. And during the crappie-thon, you went out there and fished, and if you caught a tagged fish, you won that prize. And man, me and Brian, we were all fired up, ready to go. Neither one of us owned a boat, but there was places there where you could rent a boat. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, guys, excuse me. There were plenty of places there to rent a boat, so that's what we were going to do. So it comes day of the big crappie-thon. Me and him's all excited, and he comes over early and picks me up, and man, we head out to Reelfoot Lake, about a 20-30 minute drive from where we live. We get there, we got all of our fishing stuff ready, we're excited, we're telling each other we're going to win us this, and we're going to win that money, and we finna outfish everybody there, blah, 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 blah. And so we go in, they're busy this time of year, plus with this crappie time thing going on, they were super duper busy. So we go to this place, we rent us a boat. Here we go, we head out on the water fishing. We fished a little bit on this side of the lake or whatever, wasn't having any luck catching anything, so we decided, well, let's go to the other side of the lake. So here we go, all the way to the other side of the lake, which is, I don't know how far in distance-wise. You couldn't swim it, I can tell you that. I mean, I guess somebody probably could, but not me or Brian. It's pretty good ways across the lake. And we get out there and we fish, and we're not fishing very long. I don't think either one of us caught anything at this point, and never did catch anything, and you're fixing to find out why. We fished this little spot on the other side of the lake or whatever, and we decided, well, let's because this lake is big, so we was just kind of moving around trying to find the crappie, trying to find the fish, and he decided, or we both decided, let's go over here. So we go to crank up the boat. The boat won't crank. Both of us keep pulling and pulling, like, oh man, something's wrong with this thing. We get to investigating. What's going on, man? What's going on? Well, one of us, I don't know which one, decided to see if we had any gas. We opened up the gas can. Sure enough, not a drop of gas. Here we are on the other side of the lake. Now this boat has built-in oars on it, so on both sides, so you could actually paddle the boat. But here's the thing: by the time all of this had happened, which was over probably a couple of hours, the wind had gotten up, blowing against us. And I mean, it was the wind was blowing pretty good. I mean, the water was what we call white capping. You could see the wind was blowing so hard it was making small waves out on the lake that was big enough where you could see white. And we would take turns. I would paddle a little bit, and he would paddle a little bit, and we realized real quick we're not going anywhere. Because, I mean, even if one of us made any leadway paddling, just by the time we switched, we were already back, because the wind was blowing us. We were already back to where we started or past that. And we did this for hours. I mean, just wore ourselves out. Started actually, honestly, getting scared. We were already talking about, I guess we're just going to camp on this side of the lake. What else can we do? We hollered at other boats and screamed, but they couldn't hear us. The wind was blowing against us. And this went on for, probably another 3 or 4 hours. We were hot, the wind was burning us, the sun was burning us, and we just wanted relief. We wanted off this lake. And luckily, I mean, just at the point we were about to give up, a boat got close enough to us that I don't think they heard us, but they seen us waving our arms or whatever, and they came to our rescue. They threw us a rope, hauled us into the other side, and needless to say, we didn't catch a fish one. And I guess that's what we get for bragging and talking about, yeah, we're going to win this, and we're going to win all that money, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But that is a memory that I will never forget, and I'm glad I got to share it with you, Brian. We can laugh and talk about it nowadays, but I tell you what, at the time we were starting to get a little bit worried. Well, alright guys, that's my first Throwback Thursday story. I will be back in just a little bit to give you, I'm sorry about this smoke, guys. I'll be back in just a little bit to tell another Throwback Thursday story that involves the other friend that I was talking about, James Cantrell. So with that being said, I will see you guys in just a bit. Thank you. Alright guys, I'm back. My day is over. I just got home. I'm out here walking the dog, and he's not being very helpful with the situation at all. Alright guys, I'm going to tell my throwback story number 2 for today. This involves an old friend of mine by the name of James, and there's actually a whole bunch of stories I could tell y'all. We, you know, just as I'm sure as any childhood friends, we went through a whole lot, but James would always tell me, he'd say, man, my mom, man, she like put curses and stuff on you, man. I don't think he meant it so much as a curse as it was that she just was able to know the future a little bit, I guess, just by reasoning and guessing and by being a mother, a worried parent. Of course, we were teenage boys, and we wasn't bad kids, but we probably wasn't the best kids either. We smoked cigarettes when we wasn't supposed to, and dipped that old chewing tobacco, stuff like that. And his mama, she didn't like that at all. And of course, I was always the fall guy. They'd find his spit cups and stuff, and he'd just, oh, that was Jason's when he was over here to get himself out of trouble, which that's all right. I didn't mind being the fall guy as long as he didn't get in trouble. But there was this one particular day, James had I believe it was a Pontiac Le Mans, 60-something model. I don't know quite the year, but he had bought it and fixed it up, and it was a muscle car, and he'd race it and stuff, and we were pretty young, old enough to drive. And we were going somewhere one afternoon, and James's mother kept telling him, no, you don't need to take that car, the tire's bad on it or something. And he, you know, argued back and forth with her, it'll be all right, Mama, blah, blah, blah. Of course, she didn't want him to. She didn't want us to go, so we decided, you know, we're going to go anyway. And we went, and as we were leaving, she was saying, y'all going to have a flat on that car. And when me and James got in the car, James was telling me, man, every time Mom says something like that, it comes true, man. And we wasn't out probably 30 minutes in the car running down one of the main highway, or it wasn't a highway, but it was a main road, lots of traffic, boom, has a flat. Just as he said, or just as she said. And James just sat there, you know, rubbing his head, man. Every time when she says it, she says it. James, he just, like I told you earlier, by the time I met him, he'd done been shot and stabbed himself in the leg, had a fish hook in his throat. That boy, he'd been through a lot, but we always remained friends. We always remained buddies. Hadn't seen him in quite a while, so what's up, James? Need to make you a YouTube video, man. Let me see how you doing. But there's my Throwback Thursday stories. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry the vlog isn't that long today. I had a pretty busy day at work and didn't get a whole lot of breaks to film anything, but the weekend's coming up on us. I'm probably going to take a break from YouTube tomorrow, which will be Friday, and probably be back Saturday, Sunday, something like that. So as always, guys, keep a smile on those beautiful faces. I love each and every one of you, and peace be with you all. Thanks, guys.